About 580,000 students took the AP English Language and Composition exam last year. It is the most popular of all of the advanced placement exams. That means that the greatest number of students will be affected by changes to the exams that are going into effect in May of 2020. But folks, do not be intimidated by these changes. We're here to guide you, and I've got a spoiler alert. They're actually kind of better for you, and here's what I mean. First, let's talk about what isn't changing. There are still two sections, a multiple choice section worth 45% of your score and a free response section worth the remaining 55%. What will be changing are the number and types of questions in the multiple choice section and the scoring rubric for the free response section. But those changes are good news. In both cases, the changes make the test and its scoring more predictable so that your preparation will be easier, not harder. Let's really drill down here. Students who took this exam last year had 1 hour to tackle anywhere from 52 to 55 multiple choice questions. Those questions were entirely focused on rhetorical analysis and were presented in 4 sets, each around a lengthy stimulus passage. Plus, the distribution of different question types could vary, so what you were going to get was unpredictable. For those lucky folks taking the exam. Starting in 2020, you'll have the same amount of time, about an hour, to complete just 45 questions. That's as many as 10 fewer questions in the same amount of time. Folks, luxuriate in it. Well, kinda. Now you'll get those questions in 5 sets, each with a short stimulus package, and you'll know exactly which types of questions you can expect. There will be 2 reading sets. Each set will contain a non-fiction passage from 11 to 14 questions with a total of 23 to 25 questions in all. These will be very similar to the multiple choice questions in the past version of the test, but the vocabulary and context and the identification questions are now gone. So you'll just have to prepare for questions in rhetorical analysis. The other 3 sets will be writing sets. This part is totally new, and they won't actually involve any writing on your end. Instead, you'll be asked, as the College Board says, to read like a writer. What does that actually mean? Well, each set will have a passage designed to be a first draft of a student essay. The questions will ask you to make edits based on the author's purpose. Just be sure to select the answer choice that best accomplishes the goal given in the question. If you've taken the SAT or ACT, you'll notice that these questions are similar to some of the questions you saw in the writing and language and English portions of the SAT. As with those tests, focus on the author's purpose and the goal explicitly stated in the question. Now for the free response questions. You'll still have 2 hours and 15 minutes, and that 15 minutes is a reading period to answer 1 synthesis question, 1 rhetorical analysis question, and 1 argument question. Quick refresher, synthesis. Now, the synthesis essay, you'll need to use materials from at least 3 sources to support your own position on the topic. Have you done essays in which you use examples to support your position on a topic? Of course you have. And here you don't even need to remember your examples. They're given to you. Folks, you can totally handle this. Here's the skinny. You'll get 6 or 7 sources pertaining to a particular topic, and in a nutshell, you'll have to synthesize them while also making an argument. 2 of your sources will be visual, and at least 1 of them will be quantitative. Now the rest will be text-based, about 500 words apiece. Now that's equivalent to 2 double-spaced pages, no big deal. In your essay, you'll need to synthesize material from at least 3 of the sources and advance your own position on the topic. Now, you've probably done this dozens of times with other assignments, so you can totally handle this. Next is rhetorical analysis. For this, you'll get just 1 nonfiction passage, about 600 to 800 words. Now that's equivalent to 3 double-spaced pages. You'll then be asked to write an essay analyzing the writer's rhetorical choices. You don't need to worry about picking a side here. That's not the point of the exercise. The point is to show that you understand how the author built the argument. You'll pull the argument apart and put it back together again. You've been doing this in your writing all along. Folks, this is your time to show off your skills. And if you've taken the SAT, you've already done a very similar exercise to this in the SAT essay. Finally, you'll have your argument essay. Now that you've shown that you know how an argument is made, you'll get to make one on your own. Now, this is a lot like the synthesis essay, but you'll have to use your own evidence to build your own argument. Again, you've done this before, you know how to do this. Now listen, we know that there are lots of writerly types watching this video. For you guys, this assignment is going to be fun. And the takeaway for everyone else is that none of these essay question types are new, folks. And what is new is how you'll be scored. Students who took the 2019 AP Language and Composition exam were scored using a holistic rubric. Starting in 2020, students are being scored using an analytic rubric. What is the difference? Well, here's another change in your favor. It used to be that essays were graded on a holistic scale from 0 to 9. Now there's a new analytic rubric ranging from 0 to 6. It might seem like you have a little less wiggle room for error, but actually the new rubrics provides greater clarity for how to snag each and every one of those 6 points. The first point is your thesis. How do you earn that? Just be clear and defensible in your thesis. That's it. First point is done. The next 4 points are evidence and commentary. You get 2 of those 4 points just for using the bare minimum number of pieces of evidence required. If you consistently explain your line of reasoning and tie that to your evidence, you get the other 2 points. Voila! The final point is based on sophistication. I know, what does sophistication mean in this context? Well, it means that you've shown a complex understanding of a rhetorical situation. If you have, then your final 6th point is yours right there. Here's the bottom line, folks. With no mysteries about what you're getting, you can know exactly how to prepare. And we are here to help. We at the Princeton Review have released our all new, fully updated Cracking the AP English Language and Composition Guidebook, now available wherever books are sold. In addition to full-length practice tests and content review chapters, this book will guide you through the strategies for the multiple choice question types and all 3 essays. With this book, you'll have what you need to get ready for this exam and earn your 5. Folks, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel here at the Princeton Review for all of our latest updates on how your AP exams are changing. Folks, you've got this.